Hey guys, Metal here. Today I just wanted to talk about something that's been on my mind, and that is the PlayStation 4 Pro and Bethesda's recent announcement that PlayStation 4 mod support won't be allowed by Sony. I am a PC player, but before you call me PC elitist or other names in the comment section, just please hear me out and see if my opinions really are all that unreasonable. The gameplay I'm showing is modded ARMA 3 on a mission I just threw together, if you're curious. So, the PS4 Pro is going to have the same CPU as the PS4, but it's going to be clocked higher. It's going to have the same memory solution, being 8 gigs of GDDR5X RAM, which is normally the sort of RAM you'd find on a graphics card, not really the sort of RAM you'd find on a system, but that is shared, so both the graphics card and the CPU will use from that same pool of RAM, which again, not normal. In a PC, you have different RAM for your graphics card and for your CPU. They also have a 1 terabyte hard drive. Woo, we haven't had those for a while now. I mean, they're about $60 for a PC. I mean, of course, it's not PC superiority or anything, but like, I don't understand why they can't give you guys a 2 terabyte or a 3 terabyte or a 4 terabyte at this point. Those are all fairly common drive sizes at this point. And then finally, the biggest upgrade, which is a 4.2 teraflop graphics card, or a GPU, and this is an AMD Polaris architecture. So the Jaguar CPU is a CPU designed for tablets, so that's a little bit disappointing that they're still using that in their gaming system. That's just kind of mind-blowing. It's obviously a cost-saving measure. It's not... Everything about this screams cost-saving measure. I'm just going to put it out there. The consoles are clearly, or at least these recent ones, are clearly not made to be good gaming performers. They are just made that they can be sold and turn a profit for Sony or Microsoft. Anyway, so the CPU is clocked a bit higher than the PS4 regular CPU, and the GPU should be about twice as fast. Now, the number we haven't quoted is 4.2 teraflops, which is not really a performance measurement so much like a general performance measurement. It's almost more like the horsepower measurement of a car. There are other metrics to keep in mind, but it's gives you a good idea of where it is. Now, people are saying the PS4 Pro GPU is going to be comparable to the 480, which is AMD's about $200 or $250 card. But that's not even really true. The 480 is at 5.8 teraflops, so it's 30 to 40% faster. Now, so what all this means at the end of the day, has been trotting out numbers and all sorts of nerd talk, is that Sony's new PS4 Pro is about on par with mid-range gaming PCs from a few years ago. And that's just really sad. You know, I'm a PC player, like I said. I'm not gonna gloat. It doesn't make me happy that the PlayStation 4 is weak. I think that holds games back for everyone. But that's the situation we're in. The PS4 Pro, the new Pro 4K gaming device isn't as strong as PCs were a few years ago. It's not. The GPU isn't even as strong as my graphics card from 3 years ago. It's still not. It's not even close. Mine's about 30 to 40% faster. So, you could make a PC for about the same price as a PS4 Pro, and it would perform better. And especially by the time you factor in the fact that you're paying $60 a year to play online, it would be cheaper. And it's amazing to me that that Sony is marketing this as like the mind-bending new-gen console that's going to be so great, it's going to save everyone, the graphics are going to be amazing. It's still way, way behind. Even for the price, it's still not on par with a PC. A lot of people are going to be like, yeah, Metal, well, if I had 10 grand to spend on a PC, I'd be enjoying that. It's like, you don't need to spend that much money. It's just, it's just behind. This PS4 just exists to turn a profit for Sony. Now, and I don't know what else to say about that. It's sad to me. Here's what I want to say. The PS3 and Xbox 360 didn't feel like this. They were actually able to compete with the gaming PCs of their day. So it is really sad to see this change. It's really disappointing, but as long as people keep buying PlayStations and Xboxes, then I don't see why things are going to change. It's going to hold back gaming for all of us, PC players and console players. I just don't really want to see that. I want to see games have the best graphics possible, the best gameplay mechanics possible. I want to see everything be as good as possible, and if we keep tethering ourselves to hardware that is years out of date, I don't think that's going to happen. The other thing I wanted to talk about was that Sony is not allowing Bethesda to support modding on the PS4. I've read a couple different reasons. It has something to do with storage requirements or something along those lines. And it's disappointing. I wish it wasn't that way. But I can't help but think that if someone really wanted modding and mod support, why would they buy a closed down console that every piece of code that runs on it has to be approved by Sony or Microsoft? So it's, again, it doesn't make me happy that consoles don't have this option. I would rather consoles be able to mod. But at the end of the day, it strikes me as the sort of thing where you knew what you were getting into when you got a console, and modding was definitely not one of those things. So I think that it's, if anyone's really surprised or really especially disappointed that that the PS4 won't be able to support modding, then they should have kind of understood what they were buying more. I just don't really see how someone who bought a console ever expected just free user-made content to work well on that system where everything has to be approved. Now, I just want to reiterate that I don't have a problem with console players. I have a problem with the fact that Sony and Microsoft are making underpowered hardware that's holding games back, and that they don't give their users any freedom. They double dip, so once you've already bought your console and your games, they make you pay to play online. And it bothers me that people get like Stockholm Syndrome. They're getting screwed by these companies, but they're going to defend Microsoft and Sony and Xbox and PlayStation like they're getting some sort of great deal, and they're getting all these features or whatever they feel like they're getting, but they're not. It really just seems like they're just getting screwed by overpriced and underpowered hardware and being forced to pay for things that you shouldn't have to pay for. I don't understand why I'm paying Microsoft, for instance, just to make a example, why am I paying Microsoft $60 a year so I can play Call of Duty online? Like, it is not costing Microsoft a cent to keep up the Call of Duty servers or to keep making Call of Duty content or anything. They're just charging you a middleman fee because they can. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this commentary. If you want to see more of my commentaries or tips or anything from in the future, please subscribe. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like. My social media links are in the description below, as well as my community public Discord. Myself and fans are there if you want to chat with us or game. And my Patreon link is in the description. It really helps me to keep doing this full time if you want to support me on Patreon. Have a great one, everyone.